Talkers get all the money. Talkers get all the attention.
Yeah.
Talkers get everything. We get a bad rap, but we get everything else.
Yeah, they do.
Good. Yeah.
Mike Tyson just spilled the brutal truth about why Jake Paul's been canceled by sponsors, fans, and the media all at once. And honestly, Jake, he's done it to himself. I mean, this guy tried so hard to stand out, he practically jumped off the cliff of fame without a parachute. People used to love Jake when he was just pulling pranks and dropping those ridiculous songs. Yeah, I'll admit I watched a few of those too, but now he's thrown it all away. He went from goofball entertainer to this trash-talking, lies-spewing mess. And who better to finally call him out than Mike Tyson, the man seen enough of Jake's nonsense, and decided it's time to put an end to the circus.
That's I wish I could stop that guy. I wish I could stop that guy. I wish that guy died, but he's here to stay.
So it's been a while, 7 months of watching Jake Paul's antics, and Mike decides now is the time to drop the bombshell. Like, why the sudden epiphany? Well, surprise, Jake Paul's once again the center of a storm. And this time, it's not because of some cheesy YouTube prank or trash talk on Twitter. Nope, this time it's an all-out street fight, and honestly, it's about as chaotic as you'd expect from him.
I respect you for showing up man to man, but you don't want to fight.
I never
but you don't want to fight.
I never have
you don't want to fight.
I never
whoa.
You
don't want to fight.
It was the time when Jake Paul was minding his own business, or so he says, gets jumped by some random stranger in broad daylight. Like, seriously, what are the chances? But instead of diffusing the situation like any sane person might, Jake goes full UFC mode, and he straight up breaks the guy's nose. Yep, a punch so hard it probably sent the poor guy's nose into a new zip code. What started as some weird street tussle quickly grew into something way bigger. Jake Paul in handcuffs, arrested on a Saturday. Talk about a weekend buzzkill. Now you think getting arrested is bad enough, but nah. This is Jake Paul we're talking about. Things get even messier. Turns out the guy he punched, yeah, he's in serious condition, and now Jake's in some deep trouble. This isn't just some slap on the wrist, whoops, I messed up situation. No, Jake's in a legal nightmare, and being locked up over the weekend didn't exactly help his cause. It's like he threw gasoline on the already raging fire that is his public image, because, let's be real, it wasn't great to begin with, but it gets even juicier. Rumors are swirling that Jake might have staged the whole thing. Yeah, you heard that right. It's one thing to get into a real fight, but to allegedly plan it all out just to avoid stepping into the ring with Mike Tyson, that's next level shady. And this isn't sitting well with the business world. The whispers about Jake being more manipulative than we thought have sent his business partners into full-on panic mode. Suddenly, it's not just about whether Jake's unpredictable, it's about whether he's straight up dangerous for their brand image, and when businesses get scared, you know what happens, they cut. Ties fast. Jake Paul used to be more than just a boxer. He was a brand, a social media king, an influencer, but now all of that is hanging by a thread with each sponsor that jump ship. The future of Jake Paul, the brand, looks bleaker and bleaker, and let's be honest, once brands drop you after something like this, they're not coming back. The days of Jake pulling in those fat checks might just be over if this keeps up.
Talkers get all the money. Talkers get all the attention.
Yeah.
Talkers get everything. We get a bad rap, but we get everything else.
Yeah, they do.
Good. Yeah.
And honestly, it kind of makes sense when you think about the time Jake's big fight with Tyson was set for November 15th, and the hype around it was massive. This was supposed to be the fight where Jake would finally prove himself by stepping into the ring with a true boxing legend. But here's the thing, going up against a guy with 40 years of boxing experience. Yeah, that's no joke, and suddenly Jake's caught in a random street fight just months before. It's all a little too convenient. Don't you think so? Now people are asking, was this Jake's big escape plan? Like, maybe he knew he was way out his depth with Tyson and thought, you know what, a staged street fight and an arrest might be easier to deal with than getting knocked out cold by Iron Mike. I mean, sure, it's not the classiest way to avoid a fight, but if you're desperate enough to dodge Tyson's fist, who knows what you've come up with. And in the chaotic world of Jake Paul, where no stunt is too ridiculous, this theory just doesn't seem that far-fetched anymore. But here's the thing, if this was his master plan to sneak out of the Tyson fight, it's backfiring big time. Pulling the plug on this match in such a shady, dramatic way could wreck Jake's career faster than any punch Tyson could throw. Losing to Tyson might have been tough, sure, but backing out like this, that's career suicide. Sponsors already nervous about the guys. Constant scandals are probably ready to hit the eject button. The street fight saga isn't just some headline-grabbing stunt. It's the kind of mess that makes brands want to distance themselves real fast. Then there's the fact that Jake's opponent in that street fight is still in bad shape, making Jake look like he's willing to throw punches at anyone, anywhere, just to get out of a tough spot. The fans are noticing too. It's one thing to be the guy who hypes up big fights with flashy trash talk, but now Jake's starting to look like the guy who talks too big and then bails when it's time to back it up. That's a hard sell even for his most diehard supporters. Now, let's talk about the man himself, Mike Tyson. If Jake thought for a second that Tyson was going to sit back and watch all this nonsense unfold, he badly misjudged the situation. Tyson is done with the drama. He's made it very clear that this fight is not an option. Tyson has been training for this fight for years, prepping for the moment he steps into the ring with Jake. And if Jake's trying to weasel his way out, Tyson's ready to drop the hammer. And I'm not just talking about in the ring, and Jake Paul's career is hanging on by a thread, and honestly, it's unraveling faster than anyone could have predicted. Major brands that used to be all about the Jake Paul hype are now practically tripping over each other to cut ties with him, and it's suddenly everyone's following suit, because who wants to be associated with a guy making headlines for nose-breaking street brawls? And let's be real, this isn't just a little PR hiccup for Jake. The street fight didn't just dent his image, it pretty much smashed it to pieces. Sure, Jake's no new to controversy, but this time it's hitting differently.
I was trying to give you an example of Jake Paul. Sure. Do you call Jed right now?
Yeah. I got it. No, I got it.
After that rest, the brands that once saw him as a cash cow are now realizing he's more trouble than he's worth. I mean, nobody wants their product linked to a guy whose claim to fame is beating up some random stranger in broad daylight. The damage to his rep almost beyond repair, and you know what that means. Bad news for Jake's bank account. And speaking of people who aren't fans of Jake Paul, let's not forget about Dana White. Dana has been on Jake's case for months. He's never held back on calling Jake out, but things really hit a breaking point when he accused Jake of using steroids.
Yeah.
Long before the street fight scene, Dana was already throwing shade, saying,
I believe that you're a cheater, and I believe that you use steroids. So I want to randomly steroid test you for the next 2 years. And that thing that you came out with today, nobody on earth thinks that you really wrote that. You're too stupid.
Jake, of course, denied it, but the rumor mill never stopped, and now with this street fight debacle, those steroid claims are creeped back into the spotlight like they never left.
There's a lot of things that Dana and I agree on. There have been personal attacks, which he started. I will point that out. Calling my fights fake, hiring coaches for Ben Askren, bringing in the steroid accusation.
The crazy thing is people are starting to look at Jake's whole career with a side eye now. Was any of it legit? Was the fight real? Or was Jake's entire rise to fame built on one big pile of lies and clever PR stunts? Did Dana White? Sure seems to think so. And now, with the added drama of Jake maybe dodging Tyson, it's looking worse and worse when a guy like Dana, who's been in the fight game for decades, calls you out. It sticks.
And actually, but you called me average after 1 minute. But you called me after 1 minute of my first professional fight.
No, but you're still average. You're not.
It's not true. I just beat a 5-time world champion.
UFC.
You don't even know. You don't know my ability though.
Which I'm entitled to, which is.
And if you thought that was bad, Hearn's case is also dragging up all the skeletons. Jake thought he buried. His accusations weren't just wild, they were flat out unfounded, and Hearn's legal team, they're not playing around. They've been going after Jake from every angle, ripping apart his credibility bit by bit. With every passing day, it's becoming more clear that Jake's reckless words have real consequences, and this time they're consequences he might not be able to wriggle his way out of, and Jake's legal mess just keeps getting worse, and it's hard to see how he's going to come out of this in one piece if Hearn wins this case. And let's be real, the odds aren't exactly in Jake's favor. He could be looking at total financial ruin. Forget the Tyson fight, forget the YouTube fame. If this case goes south, Jake Paul's entire empire could crumble in one fell swoop. His brand, his boxing career, his image, all of it's on the line, and the clock is ticking. In a world where Jake Paul built his empire on controversy and chaos, this legal battle might just be the one that tears it all down. It's no longer just about fighting Mike Tyson. It's about whether Jake Paul even has a future in boxing, or if this case is the final knockout punch to his entire career.